now unlikely to play for at least part of the second round. Giannis still injured. I mean, this is breaking for the Celtics so well, Papa Dude.
Oh, it is. The NBA is nuts with the injuries. Yeah, I mean, I really think Milwaukee was the best team, but what are they going to do? I mean, they're not going to beat Boston without Giannis, I don't think.
It's one thing to not have Middleton last year. It's a completely different thing with Antetokounmpo out. I mean, that's just a wildly different battle. All right, let's jump right into the rundown here. We're going to kick it off with some NBA action here. We've got the Cavs heading in to take on the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Absolutely brickfest 2 nights ago here. Both of these teams shot pretty poorly. Knicks able to win pretty easily there. Papa Dude, we'll start with you. Who do you like tonight?
I like the Knicks. I've liked them in the entire series. I think they're better than Cleveland. Again, Cleveland does not play very well. There you go, Dr. Tang. Going with Cleveland today. So maybe I'll take back everything I said. Huh? No, he's got them in both. I do like Cleveland in the baseball. I'm not a Cleveland fan. I just don't think they're that good. They don't play well on the road. I think the Knicks are going to come out blazing again today and get them. I'm Knicks all the way.
Yeah, if I was going to bet this game, I would bet the Cavs. But if I was going to bet this game, I would actually bet the Cavs to win the series because you get a much better price on them to win the series. If they win today, it's going to be tough for the Knicks to take 2 out of 3 from Cleveland when 2 of those games are in Cleveland. So today's a huge game for those Knickerbockers. Aaron, where are you going here?
I'm going with the Knicks. I have to disagree with Dr. Tang. Don't do it very often. I don't like to doubt the doctor very often, but listen, I'm kind of with Papa Dude. I just don't like this Cavs team very well. It was a horrific game. That was one of the worst NBA playoff games you're going to watch to the last time these two met up. Give me the Knicks. I picked the Knicks to win a series. Give me the Knicks.
There's only so many times a broadcast can say, this energy at the Garden's phenomenal, as both teams just absolutely lay brick after brick up. All right, let's go into one of the more interesting games of the day here. Kings catching 7.5 against the Warriors today. Return of Draymond Green in this one. Total sitting at a big time, 237. Massive number for a playoff game here, Papa Dude. What are you doing with this one?
Oh, this one's going to be really fun to watch. We're going to learn a lot today about the Kings. You know, I've picked them all along. I said they're going to win this game. I think it's a good thing that Draymond's back. I think that's a good thing for the Kings. I don't like this guy. I don't like him at all. I don't know what he might do. To me, as a coach, you got a guy that you can't control. That's not good. It's just not good. They played great. I thought the Warriors were really good the other night. I thought they were just really good. I think it's going to be a great game. I think the point spread's a little too high. I won't be surprised if Golden State wins for sure. But I would take the Kings in the points. I think 7.5 is too much. And I think that total is interesting as well. They didn't score that much the other night. So, I mean, Golden State played some defense the other night. So, this is going to be really a fun game to watch. I'm really looking forward to this one.
If I'm going to bet an underdog in the NBA, I have to think they can win the game. I don't think the Kings can win this game. So for me, it's Warriors minus a 7.5 or pass, or put the Warriors on a money line parlay, or possibly just play them straight on the money line if you want. But to me, this is Warriors or pass. The total, I think, is almost unbettable because of how well the Warriors play defense, because I would want the over based on how those two teams played. But I'm not so sure that we're going to get that, especially with what we saw defensively from Golden State. Good look there, Papa Dude. They dominated the Kings last game without Draymond. Now they get him back. Should help the defense as well. Aaron, what are you feeling here?
Yeah, I like the Warriors tonight. I think they're going to even this thing up. I felt from the very start this is going to be a 6 or 7 game series, and I think if you have that opinion, you think the Warriors are winning tonight. Because if not, they're in some trouble. Listen, we've talked about it since day one of this show when we were covering the NBA. The Warriors at home are just a different team. There's just something about playing at home for them, big time difference. So I think they get it done. I'm skeptical about the 7.5. Maybe they don't cover, but I do think the Warriors are going to win. And I think we'll go to Sacramento. If you think tonight's going to be fun, Papa Dude, if it's 2-2 going back to Sacramento, then it gets really interesting.
You can get minus 105 right now for this series to go 7 games. Kind of feels like the home team is going to win almost every game, right, Aaron?
It does. They look like different teams when they're at home. The Kings those people are hungry and they have a great atmosphere in that building, and it's made a difference. And we know the Warriors getting beat in their home building is very tough. So it does feel like you're just going to go home and home here, and that will lead to a seventh game, obviously.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I think the Warriors would have won the other night in Sacramento if he hadn't done what he did. I think that turned that game. It was 4 points when it happened.
Yep.
And I think just the distraction of all of it. Because after that happened, the Warriors didn't come out and do much. They didn't play very well after that. I think that distraction kind of broke their momentum just a little bit in that game, and then it got the crowd if they needed anything because they were nuts anyway. I just think that killed the Warriors in that game. I really do. I see people here. The technical, I think it was 0.5, whether he gets a T or not. And then whether he's going to get kicked out. A normal human being on a normal team that they can control will be on his best behavior tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know about this guy.
Yeah, I bet the Warriors -135 to win the series after game one. It's -120 right now. I kind of still feel like the Warriors are winning this series because I don't think the Kings can win in Golden State. And the Warriors are going to have 2 shots in Sacramento to get it done. I still feel like the Warriors is the right side here because I think they win game 4 and game 6. It's just a question of if they can take 5 or 7 here.
They got to win tonight.
Yeah. Yes, they do have to win tonight. I think they will win tonight. This Warriors team to me is just a little more polished, right? They've got more experience here than the Kings, and it's tough to win in Golden State, especially for a young playoff team doesn't have a ton of playoff experience. So going to be a fun one tonight. I'll be watching this one for sure. It's just really fun matchup. Probably the most fun first-round NBA series. There are not a ton of those out there right now. All right, let's head over to the ice. The Hurricanes taking on the Islanders. Islanders -125. Total sitting at 5 here. We talked about this before game 3. If you like the Islanders, bet them in the series +500. I took a little bit of a sprinkle. I have them again tonight as my best bet. Little spoiler alert. I'm going to go back to the Islanders -125 today. This game starts at 11, so make sure you get it in early. I also played Islanders -1.5 +220 because I think this is just a situation where they now have the better goaltender. They've got the better offense. And if you look at the advanced stats from the last 2 games, they have outplayed Carolina 5-on-5. Which was why Carolina was so good in the regular season. But without Svechnikov, without Teravainen, this is a different Hurricanes team that we saw during the regular season. Isn't it, Aaron?
It is, but they're winning tonight. Somich. Carolina, give me the plus money on Carolina tonight. I think they're going to get it done. Listen, this series is just about a bounce. That's all it is, right? You got to have a bounce here or there. It's a tight series. We got a total of 5. We haven't seen that all year. I mean, it's crazy, but it should be because it's ridiculous. You mentioned 2 nights ago, it's like, gosh, imagine betting the under and having it for 59 minutes, and then they just go crazy and get goals in the game. I like Carolina. I think they're going to get them in this game. I think they still have enough. Now, I think they're done after the series. But I think they're going to get by the Islanders.
You're wrong. Papa Dude, who you got here?
Who they got next if they win the series? Are they play the Ranger?
Yeah,
they play the Rangers Devils winner.
Yeah, I don't think they're built for the long haul. I'm staying completely away from this because I don't have any idea. And anytime you're in a series where it does take a lucky bounce, man, it's hard to bet. And so I'm going to stay with Carolina, but I would be surprised if the Islanders win. So I want no part of this game.
I am sticking with my convictions here. The last game, the Islanders dominated. They have a 77% chance to win that last game at home. Their expected goals 5-on-5 were 3-1 against Carolina. Expected goals overall was 5-2 in that game. They took it to Carolina, and I'm not sure why it changes today. I get the better goalie too, which I think matters as well. All right, let's head over to Dallas and Minnesota. The Wild up 2-1 here, -115. I really want Minnesota to win this series so Colorado can wax them in 5. Aaron, who you got tonight?
Oh boy. Have you guys ever seen a series that every game is lopsided, but it feels like it shouldn't be? Like it feels like this is a tight series. That you look at the final scores, it's like, no, they're just killing each other. I took Dallas because I believe we're going 7 games in the series. It just feels like that kind of series. I think Dallas bounces back tonight. Wouldn't be shocked if they don't, though. I still like the Wild to win this series. I'm kind of with you. I don't think whoever wins this is going to beat the mighty Avalanche. Give me the Stars tonight. Wouldn't be surprised either way.
Yeah, if I took a side, I'd take the Stars, Papadou, but I'm back on the under here. I thought my under got screwed last time at 5.5. They had like 3 late Wild goals. They pulled the goalie with 5 minutes left for Dallas, so they get an empty netter. That's what takes that game over. I think 5.5 is still too high for this series. So I'll take the under here, and I would lean Stars, but I'm not going to play a side here. What do you think, Papadou?
Yeah, I mean, we're waiting for a 2-1 game, aren't we? I mean, we thought that's what this was going to be, and we had a 3-2. But I everything I said about Carolina and the Islanders, I'll say that about this one too. I just don't know how you can bet this one. They're very evenly matched. I took Dallas tonight because I think it's going 7 also, and I don't think home ice means anything in these two teams. I mean, they're just both of them are seasoned and they have veterans. Should be another good one. If you want to watch a hockey game where the two teams despise each other, this is the one, and maybe the next one we're going to talk about is the same way or starting to become that way.
You get the playoff vibes from these two teams. They are going to hit each other. They are going to fight at some point. There's going to be a couple retaliatory penalties. This is a playoff series. It's going to be fun if this one ends up going 7 because it's just the action's going to keep ramping up. All right, now let's go to the team, the series that I am most excited to talk about. I mean, if you can't tell by the smile on my face how much I want to talk about this Oilers-Kings series, you're missing something here. This is a monster game for the Oilers and for McDavid. They have to win this game. They have to solve Korpisalo somehow because they just haven't been able to. The 2 goals last game were absolute, just seeing eye goals from a rocket shot from McDavid, both of them on the power play, both top corner. They got to score 5-on-5 against this Kings team. They just can't get it done, Aaron. What's going to happen tonight?
They're going to win tonight. I think the Oilers bounce back. Let's not panic if you're the Oilers. Look, they took them to overtime. You know, they had a great shot to win that game, and they didn't get it done. And I've underestimated the Kings. I will go ahead and say it now. I will admit that to you. I still think the Oilers are the better team. They've just got to get the goals tonight. If you look at the stat line, you kind of look at the analytics of Game 3, the Oilers were the better team that game. But a lot of times in hockey, that doesn't mean anything. You still lose. So, which is what they did. I think they're going to bounce back tonight. I think this game's going to be the same. I think you're going to see a tight game, but I think the Oilers are going to win this one. So give me Edmonton to tie it up tonight.
I was kind of looking through some of the player props here. What do you think about Korpisalo over 30.5 saves here?
He might need to have that.
I think he's going over that.
You got to think the Oilers took 40 shots last game.
Yeah.
You got to think they're going to pepper him again this game.
Yeah.
That total seems a little bit low because if you expect the Oilers to come out and play the way that Aaron, I think you were expecting the Oilers to come out and play, they're going to dominate the time of possession here, which means they're going to get significantly more shots. And all of a sudden that 30.5 doesn't seem all that wild.
Yep. I agree. I think they're going to get a bunch of shots. Well, listen, they got 40 the other night. Of course, I know it went into overtime, but still they got 40 shots and lost. So, yeah.
Papadou, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I like that 30.5.
Yeah.
If he's going to stop all of them, that's the thing. He might not. You know what I mean? You just don't. He has been phenomenal. I mean, he has been so good. And a lot of times in series, you see a goalie just total dominate, and the Kings overall have played pretty well. You know, I would agree with Aaron that Edmonton's had the better part of it probably, but not by much. Mm-hmm. You know, it hasn't been one-sided for sure. No. We're all waiting for McDavid to get going, and I think he's going to have to score a couple times tonight. I really do. He's got to get going. Now, I got to admit, these games are on so late. I have not got to see all. I can't stay awake through all of them. Is he playing poorly, or is he playing pretty well, and he just can't get the puck in the net?
Well, I mean, he's got 2 goals. He scored both of their goals in the last game.
Right. So he's playing all right.
Draisaitl was the better player in game 1 and game 2, but McDavid was the better player in game
So they're not getting anything out of anybody else.
I'm going to stop this real quick. The national media knows nothing about hockey.
Okay.
Scoring goals is not the only way to judge how a player is playing, right?
That's what I'm trying to get at. He's playing good, isn't he?
Fine. He's playing fine.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Well, it's back to the issues that we've seen with the Oilers in the past. Where's Yakamoto? Where's Nugent Hopkins? Where's Kane?
So the other players are not playing well.
Where you need them to, like, the key in the playoff hockey is timely scoring up and down your lineup.
Absolutely.
And we have not seen that from Edmonton in the last 4 years in the playoffs.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Well,
their stars are playing well. Their other players aren't.
Hockey is about lines. If your line is scoring, but you aren't scoring, that's okay. Your line needs to be productive. His line has been very productive.
Okay.
It's been the only thing that's been productive. Like Somich said, that's the problem. Line 2, line 3, line 4, they got to score, and they're not. They're just not. So that's the big key. I agree. But again, it's about your line. It's not about you individually.
It's going to be fun to see this one. This is a monster game for the Oilers. They have to win this. All the pressure's on. We talked about Toronto yesterday, and who if you had Elias Samsonov stealing a game against Tampa on your bingo card, congratulations, because man, that one came out of nowhere. Toronto, O'Reilly bails them out in the last minute. They get the job done in overtime. Pretty fortunate to get that W home. All the pressure on Edmonton here. They need this game. They can't go back down home 3-1. That is going to be an awful scenario for them if that happens. By the way, Oilers, shots on goal, 40 game 1, 37 game 2, 40 game 3.
Yep.
Papa, what were you going to say?
Well, I didn't get to watch any of the Toronto game yesterday. Do you think a game like that where it sounded like they stole it, will that get them over the hump, you think? Is that going to help them a lot? I mean, that was a big win, right? And they could have lost.
I don't know about you, Somich. I don't know if anything's going to at this point. Like they should. They get them over the hump, but
so they did not play well.
And they really got dominated last night.
The third period was the ice was heavily tilted toward Toronto's zone. Tampa had the puck control constantly. It felt like Toronto was going to struggle getting their goalie to be able to pull their goalie because they couldn't get the puck out of the zone.
Wasn't Toronto or Tampa ahead most of the game?
Oh yeah.
Toronto was up 2-1 and late in the first, and then Tampa tied it at 2, took the lead in the second period, and it really dominated the third period.
Yeah,
and literally O'Reilly just bails them out by being able to tuck one in the last minute of that third period, and then the overtime goal was, a point shot that you shoot in overtime, but they weren't shooting the puck in overtime either. I was getting pissed off watching them in overtime. Okay. What is this? Tighten up asking, do y'all watch the games or you follow the games you bet? Yeah, we're watching pretty much every single game, let alone whether or not we bet it, especially right now with the NBA and NHL playoffs. So yeah, definitely watching all these. He definitely was frustrated with Toronto. Happy to sneak that one out. I am more concerned about them winning the series after they won game 3. Because they looked like the worst team yesterday.
Okay, so they did not play well.
And the goal to tie the game was just a classic O'Reilly goal. It's not like they made some kind of great player did anything. He just fought his ass off and got position and got a rebound. Honestly, he would even tell you, just got lucky. It went in. He just turned around and shot it. And
see, I just saw the score. I just saw the score. I didn't get to watch anything because I was on the road and I was at the track yesterday. Yeah. And I thought to myself, wow, huge win for Toronto, which it is.
It is.
And gut check, being behind and then come back to – I did see they were behind. So they were pretty lucky then.
Yes.
Yeah, if you go to moneypuck.com, we've talked about it quite a bit here on here. Tampa Bay had a 70% deserve to win meter. So in 10,000 simulations, Tampa was winning over 70% of those. And their expected goals was 4.17 to 2.69. Okay. So it just dominated in every fashion of it and just ended up on the wrong side because of bounces. So it's going to be interesting to see how Tampa responds. I would expect they're going to respond well in game 4. If they play like they did in game 3, this is going back 2-2.
Okay. Without any question. They will win. That's the thing about hockey. You can get away with it once. You're not going to get away with it again.
Then that'll set up a game 5 in Toronto, a must-win again for the Maple Leafs and what will happen.
Absolute
Can't wait.
pressure cooker. I mean, I almost feel bad for the Leafs teams because, man, it's got to be tough to play in Toronto with all of this pressure on you every day, game in and game out. It's going to be absolutely crazy to me. We'll see what happens in Game 4 tomorrow. Let's head over to the race of the day here. Headed back to Keeneland, race number 9. Got to say, really frustrated with the race of the day yesterday. Smoking Jay doesn't run very well. Front Run the Fed, who I have been on, I don't know, constantly if you watch the Magic Mike show, finally gets the job done at 15-1. Had him in the pick 5, had him in the pick 4, but didn't have that freaking 9 horse in the what was it, the Elkhorn, I think it was. Anyway, pretty frustrating day from Keeneland yesterday. Let's fast forward to today here. We're going to go a mile on the turf course, $100,000 maiden special weight here, Aaron. Your favorite, I guess, is the 4 horse here, which, okay. Freddie's the red, coming off the layoff for McPeak. Hernandez up. Coming from off the pace in a race that doesn't exactly have a ton of it. What are you doing here, Aaron?
Well, first of all, you're right about Keeneland. I've never watched so many races, and it's just like, okay, I'm in position, and then they just kind of melt, and I'm like, man, that was a really frustrating day. Hopefully we bounce back today. Sometimes it's how it goes. You have a really bad day, and then you'll have a really good day to kind of make up for what you missed yesterday. All right, yeah, this race is just it's a mess.
I picked an easy one.
I mean, it's
you always do.
You just keep on picking these races that are just nightmares. Bolt Oro, the 9 horse, that's what I'm going to go with. I know this horse is best on the turf. Been really close to winning both times on the turf. Been trying to get this horse back on the surface, but when you're running down at fairgrounds, it's just a total nightmare trying to get the horse running on the turf. Now we're back to it. Going a mile. That's where this horse almost won. Give me Bolt Toro here. I don't have a lot of confidence. You could probably tell by the way I'm saying it.
I have Adam Biscuit's a problem. Mainly, he doesn't win. 0 for 18 at the meet so far. That's what downgraded me on Bolt Toro. The point you made is excellent, though. The last 3 races, 2 of them taken off turf when they were trying to get onto it, 1 on synthetic. You go back to the 2 turf races. Those are the races that you can point back to and say, hey, this 9 has a legit shot at winning here. So I don't hate the pick. I just hate Adam Biscuitza right now, and I'm not going to use him when he's 0 for 18 at the meet. Give me the 2 horse after 8, 10-1 on the morning line. Arnold Delacour, Flavian Pratt aboard. This horse showed some speed and then quit as a 80-cent on the dollar favorite at Delaware, going 5.5 furlongs on the dirt. Now we're switching over to turf here. Delacour 30% off 180-day layoff, 30% first turf with a $5.81 ROI, 30% maiden second start with a $2.58 ROI, 30% dirt to turf with a $4.84 ROI. Pratt has won for him before. This horse seems like one of the ones that's going to be forwardly placed and is going to appreciate the turf. This is a $425,000 daughter of Into Mischief out of a Blame mare who was decent on the turf. I think this one takes the turf well. I'll take 10-1 on the 2 horse after 8 here. Papa Dude, you going back to the hat? What are we doing here?
Nope, don't need a hat today. I'm going with Aaron as well. I'm going on the old consistent horse, Boltoro. I looked at that also at the mile distance. Almost won. Lost by a neck. Finished second 3 out of 6. Third another time. Just a little more consistent. Wouldn't bet too much on it though, but I'm going the 9, Boltoro. I don't like the favorite at all. I don't know why that horse is favorite. I also like the 2, and I kind of like the 6 a little bit. So anyway, I'm going Boltoro, number 9.
I was between the 2, the 3, and the 6. I thought the Mott, who is first time out, going 2 turns at Saratoga, then does sprints twice on the turf. Now you get Rosario going long again. I thought it was a little interesting on the 3. And then the 6, picking up Irad with Joe Sharp horse. These turfway horses have been running really well here at Keeneland, Aaron.
Yeah, I don't hate any horse you're going to throw out there. You can make a case. It's that kind of race where you can circle around all of them and really make a case. And one that nobody's mentioned that I made a case for was the 12. I thought this was second time out for Maker, now getting Gaffleone aboard, stretching out a little bit. Oh, there's a 12 comment. But yeah, I thought that one was interesting as well. This is the type of race I say sometimes when we're on the air live doing shows, it's like, this is a pick your angle and go with it type of thing. There's nothing that I can tell you that's going to be the key to this. It's like you've got angles on all of them. Pick the favorites that are not the favorites as in the prices. Pick your favorite angles and just take a shot here. It's a wide open race.
I thought about the 12. The problem for me was 30-1 on debut.
Yeah.
And in an easier race at Gulfstream Park was forwardly placed and kind of faded off a pace that I didn't think was that hot. Now drawing the 12 post. I thought there's just a lot to ask for a horse when you're going to get a significantly shorter price here than we did on the debut.
I think it's a fair point. I think getting Gaffleone is a good sign, at least for it. You had Sonny Leone up for the debut, whatever. So I would take Gaffleone here on the upgrade. The trip is going to be the issue, right? And I think what's going to happen is this horse is going to have to be ridden for speed out of the gate. If she could get some positioning into that first turn. I don't see a lot of burners in here, so I'm guessing that's going to be the idea, try to get her forwardly placed. But no, I get it. It's like, yeah, the horse isn't great. Obviously, if it didn't get bet and was a maker on debut, but this isn't a great race either. So there's kind of, give and take with that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's why I had the 2 and 3. I agree with you. There's no burners in here. I think one of them makes the lead. I don't know which, but I think one of them makes the lead. And I think if either does, they're dangerous.
It seems like the 2 would be the one to make the lead, wouldn't it? If one of those 2, I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think with Pratt aboard, I think drawing inside wasn't that far off with the dirt sprint. Maybe the 2 jumps out ahead.
And we totally trust Rosario to send the 3, right?
Right.
All right, let's jump into the best bets of the day here. I mentioned mine earlier. Give me the Islanders minus 125. They dominated the last 2 games against this Hurricane team. Hurricanes lost 2 players to injury already here. I think the Islanders are better goalie, better offense. Happy to make minus 125 again. We laid this 2 days ago. It was a winner 5-1. I also sprinkled a little bit plus 220 goal and a half. Papa Dude. Let's head over to you. Who you got?
I'm going to go the Knicks. I have confidence in them. And then the Boston Bruins played like the Boston Bruins in Game 3 against Florida. I think they carry it over again today. I think that series is going 5. So I got a money line parlay at plus 175. Knicks Bruins. I'm pretty confident on the Bruins. The Knicks Cavs. That's pretty dicey, but at plus 175, it's worth a shot.
All right, Aaron, best bet of the day.
All right, I went a little bit wild here today, guys. So just be careful, be calm. I went Celtics over the Hawks. The Hawks, they lit it up, right? They just scored so many points. Didn't they set a record for points in a quarter or points and a half, maybe for a playoff game? I can't remember. If not, they were close. But I think they kind of cool off shooting today. And if they do, I think the Celtics get them. So give me the Celtics. I said it. I think the Oilers are going to bounce back and win this game. This is the one game I'm worried about out of the 3. But I do think the Oilers bounce back and win it. And they give me the Sea Dragons today in the XFL to finish this thing off for plus 175. Here's the deal with the Sea Dragons. They have to win today to make the playoffs. They also need to score points in case there's a little bit of a tiebreaker situation. They need to score some points today. So they're playing the Vipers, Las Vegas Vipers. They're horrible. They're not any good. Sea Dragons are at home. I don't know what the futures are to win the XFL championship. Sea Dragons should be the play. I'm sure there's probably not futures on this, but the Sea Dragons have played very well the second half of the season. They've got the best offense. I think they've got the best quarterback. So Sea Dragons today to end this parlay and also look for them in the playoffs.
Yeah, no XFL futures listed right now. Sea Dragons 10.5-point favorites. Real quick, Aaron. Oh, they don't have a team total. I was going to see if I could get a team total for the Sea Dragons here. The game total is 47, 10.5-point favorite. That would make it what, about 28 points, right around there.
Mm-hmm.
You like the over on that team total?
You need to get it. I haven't seen a team total. If you can find it, take the over on the Sea Dragons. It's hard to take the over on the overall total though, because the Vipers are horrifically, terribly bad.
Did you see the Battlehawks game yesterday?
Yes.
2 amazing fake punts.
Yes.
2 fake punt touchdowns in the same game. One of them a 90-yard pass where a big boy just spun around, rumbled home. The other just a wide open guy running through the middle of the field. I don't think I've ever seen 2 60-yard plus fake punt touchdown passes in a single game before.
They faked 3 all season. All 3 of them went for touchdowns. Here's why they did that. They were the Sea Dragons and the Battlehawks are going to tie for the second playoff spot in their division. They're tied in all the tiebreakers. So it's coming down to like point differential and total points scored. So you saw 53 points for the Battlehawks. It's like they had to get points. They were in that situation. Okay. They didn't get enough. That's the problem. The Sea Dragons are going to win this tiebreaker. As long as the Sea Dragons win today, they're going to make the playoffs.
Where do the Sea Dragons play? What city?
Seattle.
Seattle Sea Dragons. Dennis wants to know what a sea dragon is. Come on, Dennis, you're smarter than that. It's a dragon that lives in the sea.
Exactly.
That's why Papa Dude's a teacher right there, just breaking it down. Real
Don't
quick,
play hard.
I want to mention something before I jump into the best bets here. If we could do this on the show, this would be my best bet of the day. Michael Myers 150, or Mike Meyer, whatever it is. Michael Mayer 150 to be the first tight end drafted on Thursday. You can find it on a couple books right now. Kincaid is slipping from everything I heard. I had 3 people text me in the last 2 days that there's some issues with Kincaid, specifically the tight end out of Utah, who was the second choice at plus 110. They are the only 2 tight ends that are going to go in the first round. So I put in a rather large wager on Meyer to be the first tight end drafted on Thursday. I expect him to go in the low 20s. I think Kincaid's out of the first round at this point. So
hey, I got one for you.
Go for it, Papa Dude.
I don't know if punters get drafted, do they?
Rarely.
Okay. Forget it then.
Well, what was it?
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know how you could bet it, but the punter that played at Oklahoma will be the first punter picked. Put it in the bank.
We don't have first punter. We've got first wide receiver. We're JSN minus 350.
So they don't draft punters.
Well, they don't offer bets on punters.
Okay.
I still like Peter Skoronsky as well, plus 145, first offensive lineman drafted. I've heard that he's going to go in that 7th or 8th spot, so we'll see if that happens as well. But Mayer minus 150. Lock it up, baby. All right, let's go to the best bets of the day here. Aaron, Celtics, Oilers, and those Sea Dragons, dragons that live in the sea, per Papa Dude, plus 175. Give me the Islanders, minus 125, see if we can get a third NHL game home in a row. Papa Dude taking the Knicks and the Bruins, plus 175, 5-10 for the week, down to $10 for the year. But we will get that back. We just need to get on a streak here again. We keep getting up, and then it keeps going down. We got to keep it going up here. All right, thank you very much for joining us, everybody. We'll be back same time, same place, starting on Wednesday, 9 a.m., noon Eastern, best bets around the sports and horse racing world. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube, /Racing Dudes. Ton of Kentucky Derby coverage, including my 3 long shots that just posted. And this guy right here is top 5 for the Kentucky Derby, so make sure you're checking out those videos. We'll be back tomorrow with the Magic Mike Show. And Dudes Who Bet Sports tomorrow, guys?
No Mondays anymore. We've taken those off.
Unbelievable. Slackers. I'm not going to make a joke I could. All right, everyone, have a very good day. Best of luck. We will see you all on Wednesday.